Welcome to the 1970s adverts quiz. Those old TV adverts that stick in our minds even today. The jingles or those memorable slogans. Do you remember them? Well, let's find out, because it's quiz time. And we're going to go back to the 70s and see how many questions you can answer. Categories begin easy to difficult, and there'll be one impossible advert at the end of each section. The following 6 questions, you have to finish the slogan. It's simple. I'll start with a slogan and see if you can finish it off. Question 1. Now hands that do dishes can feel as soft as your face with... Mile Green Fairy Liquid. Question 2. Soft, strong and very... Now here's a bit of a clue. There was a dog running around the house, pulling it all over the place. Soft, strong and very, very long. It was Andric's bog roll. Question 3. Watch out, watch out, watch out. There's a... Watch out, watch out, watch out. There's a Humphrey about. Advertising milk back in the 1970s. Question 4. Fresh cream cakes, naughty. And the advert was fresh cream cakes, naughty but nice. But can you also remember at least one star that appeared in this ad back in the day? Well, Barbara Windsor, Larry Grayson, Kenneth Williams and Les Dawson. Probably a few more if you've named them. Question 5. Nuts, oh hazelnuts. Ooh. Yes, Cadbury's take them and they covered them with chocolate. Question 6, a little bit harder. Any Tom, Mac or Walt who likes the taste of malt would like the malt in a Colt 45. That was the American beer that was pretty rubbish that we had around in the 1970s. Here's a difficult one, number 7. I'll risk it for a... I'll give you a clue. European mountains and a chocolate bar. The answer is I'll risk it for a Swisskit. It was a fruit-based chocolate bar, but I can't remember who made the chocolate bar, so maybe you can help me out on that one. Here comes question 6, and I did say this is impossible. And I'm going to do a bit of acting now. Ooh, I forgot my 18-hour girdle. And it ran like this. Oh, I forgot my 18-hour girdle. Oh, I've got it on. And the answer to that is Playtex. Playtex were advertising this lady coming off an aeroplane who'd forgotten, thought she wasn't wearing it. It was supposed to be that comfortable that she forgot she got it on. That's the end of section 1. So how are you doing so far? Right, section number 2 is name the product being advertised in the next 10 questions. We'll start off with the easy ones. Question 1. Famous boxer who said splash it all over. Now, what was he using? He was using Brute 33 aftershave. Question 2. This product was advertised with this slogan. Having goodness baked in. Clue, it was a baby product. And it was Farley's rusks have goodness baked in. Question 3. This jewel of an advert worked wonders, worked wonders. Clue, it was an alcoholic beverage. The answer was Double Diamond, worked wonders, worked wonders, worked wonders. But did it? You let me know in the comments. Now this one is featuring a woman shaking her head all over the place and men glaring at her, and they're asking that question: is she or isn't she? No rude answers, please. And of course, was she or wasn't she wearing Harmony hairspray? Question 5. Some laughing metal Martians mocking the British public of how they cook their starched food item, advertising a quick answer to your cooking method by just adding boiling water. Now, if I was to say potatoes, you'd get it right away. It was for mash get smash. But can you also remember who made the product? Yes, well done. It was Cadbury's. Cadbury's Smash. Question number 6. A rather distinguished and famous gentleman in the 1970s. This one is featured on a rowing boat, telling us how balmy the British public was. No. Okay. Everyone's a fruit and nutcase. Yes, of course, he was advertising Cadbury's Fruit and Nut. Now, the main man in the campaign was our wonderful Frank Muir. Question 7. The British public were told to go to work on one of these in order to help them get through the day. It was go to work on an egg. Question 8. Getting a little harder, right? Question 8. This cartoon character advert reminded us all of that every component of this product had passed its physical. Spelt differently, by the way. Spelt F-I-Z-Z. Yes, of course, it was Corona. Corona Pop. Question 9. These products could make a dishonest woman of you. In the days where women did all the cooking, eh? Well, it was the 1970s. So I'll say it again. This product could make a dishonest woman of you. Here's a clue. Frozen products by Birdseye. Yes, there were Birdseye pies. Question 10. Impossible. This featured a woman popping the product into her mouth and suddenly running around a laundrette as though she was on illicit drugs, fanning her mouth with her hand and making strange noises. Clue. This was telling you that the product was too hot to handle. Another clue. The slogan was, they've got to be strong to be good. Yes, it was Extra Strong Mints. Now, can you name the actress? The actress was Sheila Burnett. That was the one that was running around the laundrette. And believe it or not, there was also another famous actor there before he got into Coronation Street. Yes, it was Ken Morley. Yeah, the one that played Reg. So that's Sharp's Extra Strong Mints dealt with. So, we're moving on to another section. And this section consists of famous songs adapted for 1970s adverts. Can you name the original singer and the band? Or the band? There are 6 questions in this category. Coca-Cola with that great song, I'd like to buy the world of Coke and keep it company. The song of the group, please. Yes, it was made famous by the New Seekers, the song being I'd like to teach the world to sing. But originally it was released by the Hillside Singers. The ad campaign was in 1971. Question 2. Pass those pastels round, Pa, pass those pastels round. Featuring round trees through pastels, with kids dressed up as cowboys and Native American Indians, singing this famous song. Can you name it? Well, the song was called Pistol Packing Mama and actually goes back as far as 1942 by Al Dexter, covered by many other singers including Bing Crosby and the Andrews Sisters. Question 3. Vitalite. Yes, a margarine product that was deemed to be packed with vitamin D. With a song, Wake up in the morning wanting me breakfast. Ooh, Vitalite. Can you name the song and the band? Well, the song was called The Israelites, and it was done by Desmond Dekker. Number 4, a little bit harder. This orchestral piece was adapted from an advert of Fruit and Nut with Frank Muir again. And it's about that Fruit and Nut bar again, and it's the orchestral piece that we're looking for. You name it. I know that was a bit of a beggar. It was Tchaikovsky and the Dance with the Miltons, but it was from the Nutcracker Suite. Question 5. Wouldn't it be nice to wake to whiteness? Because Personal Automatics knew. The song was simply Wouldn't It Be Nice? And it was released in 1966 by which American band? It was the Beach Boys, and the advertisement was released in 1979. Question 6, impossible. Well, I'm not sure, but it's my favourite piece of music, and the advertisement was for pure wool knitwear featuring sheep wandering around the house. It was in 1982, though, I must confess. The tune is Canon by Johann Pachelbel. It's a lovely tune, you must listen to it. Now, our final section is about famous people who appeared in adverts in the 1970s at the time, and there are 6 questions on this one. Number 1. 2 very famous, albeit surprisingly incompatible people featured on an aeroplane in first class where the Cinzano gets spilt all over one of the actors whilst reclining. Yes, of course, it was Joan Collins and Leonard Rossiter. Question 2. A Campari advert which was promoted with the slogan Luton Airport by a lady with a Cockney accent. God blimey, governor. Can you name the lady? Yes, it was Lorraine Chase. More famous back in the 70s for being on that wonderful programme with Les Dawson, Blankety Blank. Question 3. Unigate Dairies. Remember the milk floats that were red and white? The adverts were promoted on the old famous Humphreys About campaign, and there were 2 very famous carry-on stars. Here's a clue. One had a famous laugh, and the other one had a famous giggle. Yes, it was Barbara Windsor and it was Sid James. Question number 4. The comedy actor who appeared in the very famous R. White's lemonade ads in the 1970s. He was the secret lemonade drinker who crept around the kitchen taking a bottle out of the fridge only to be caught by his wife. Who was he? His name was Julian Chagrin. The ad was launched in 1973. Yes, I was surprised it went back that far and all. Question number 5. Now, we all know about the Splash It All Over for Brute Aftershave, which was led by the famous boxer Henry Cooper. But there was another sports star who also appeared in the adverts. But who was he? If you need a clue, he played football. The answer was Kevin Keegan. Question 6. Impossible. The original Milk Tray Man. He was on the campaign for 11 years, from 1968 to 1984. He was an Australian actor, which makes it hard to name him, I know, but I did say it was impossible. Do you remember who he was? His name was Gary Myers. Now, all I could find out about him is that he appeared on the Sylvia Anderson show, The UFO, and he was replaced after 13 episodes. He was born in 1961 and now lives back in Australia. I'm going to ask you one question which I would consider you a genius if you could get this one. What was voted the best TV advert in Britain of all time? Not necessarily in the 1970s. I'll give you a clue. It's from the 1980s to 2010. Your next clue is it featured a drummer. And your final clue, he was famous by a guy called Phil. You've got it, haven't you? The gorilla. Yes, the famous Cadbury advertisement with the drumming gorilla with the song I Could Feel It Coming in the Air Tonight. Well, what did you think of that? Load of rubbish? Or did you get them all right and you thought it was fantastic? I might do a few more of these. Thank you very much indeed for taking part. Let me know in the comments if there's anything else you'd like to know about history that you'd like to be quizzed on. Thank you for watching again. Bye for now.